is going on? Forza Milan to everybody. Welcome to Milan News. We're going to talk about the Milan news that came out today. All the players, all the links. Antonio's here with us. What's up, Antonio? How you doing?
What's up, Roy? Yesterday was a crazy long
Uh,
stream. I
oh
had a
my
lot of
God.
fun.
Yesterday was an absolute war. It was war. Yesterday was raw as war, like Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Um, Guys, before we get started, like the video, like the page. It really helps to grow the channel, guys. All those likes. So let's get those likes up. But let's get straight into it. Repubblica had a piece today saying Milan placed bid worth 30 million for Ketelaere and receive his approval. So let's look at that article. It's a short article that Repubblica put out. And also, Ketelaere was on the first page of the Gazzetta dello Sport this morning in Italy. Um, the whole page was a poster of basically how Milan is in pursuit of Ketelaere. So let's get straight into this one. Antonio, let's talk about it a little bit. AC Milan are making progress in talks over a deal for Charles Ketelaere, having got the approval of the player, according to a report. According to what is being reported by La Repubblica, Milan have taken a step forward in their pursuit of the Belgian playmaker by making an official bid for him worth 25 million as initial transfer plus 5 million in potential bonuses. The negotiations are counting and are continuing and will soon reach the most crucial phase, with the Milan management pushing hard to bring De Ketelaere to Italy as he is the favorite target for the attacking department over Nicolo Zaniolo of Roma. There is another bit of good news for Milan. De Ketelaere has given his approval to the idea of joining the Rossoneri, which means that now the major obstacle is to agree a price and the structure of the operation with Club Bruges. Look, I don't think it's a secret that Milan is after this player. It's definitely a link that is 100% real. They're going straight. They're going all in for him, and it's a matter to see whether they're going to land him. Another thing I want to say, and then Antonio, leave a word to you, is that there was a report that Sempre Milan put out the other day, or of a person, a Milanista that was in the same hotel as the Belgian squad. You saw that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And he took a picture with De Ketelaere, and he asked if De Ketelaere was going to Milan. De Ketelaere smiled at him. I mean, and this doesn't mean anything, but there are all these little indications. Little indications.
Yeah. So I think we need to be like kind of we have to think about this situation right now because it's not like this is super far advanced, but it looks like there's some concrete offers coming in. So this news source has 30 million. Um, and then on the based on the Gazzetta dello Sport news website and also like their different sources, it says that Milan is getting ready to offer even up to 40 million for this player. So
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is, but that's sort of like maybe I don't see us offering more than that. So I think that may
Uh,
be kind of like the limit for what we can get.
yeah, that was the first page of the Gazzetta dello Sport saying that the Milan was going up to 40 million. Um, Now, 40 million to me seems a lot, to be honest with you. It just so unusually, it's not really Milan. These are numbers that we don't really, we don't really, are not really used to when it comes to AC Milan. Um, I am more inclined to believe that they are going to try and bring it down from 40 million. They're going to use the will of the player to convince him. But yeah, 40 million for De Ketelaere. I mean, that's a big chunk of your transfer budget right there. I guess it depends how Bruges wants it. If they want it all up front, then that's almost 50% of your budget going to that one player. What do you think of that? Do you? This is now. Let's go into opinion territory.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have one more piece of news
Yeah, go ahead.
about this.
Of De Ketelaere?
Yeah, there's like some news sources from Belgium that are saying that Leicester City is also interested, and that it could go down to a negotiation war between Milan and Leicester City. So this is kind of not really the best news if you're really interested in this player because Leicester City, of course, are a Premier League club that have more funds than us in many ways. So this is another obstacle.
Yes, true. When we go and have bidding wars with the English teams, it's pretty much impossible. Like you're never gonna win those bidding wars. I mean, it's just never gonna happen. But when it comes to the will of the player, I'm assuming that De Ketelaere would rather play for Milan than Leicester. I'm just assuming that. So it really goes down to the will of the player, and also let's also be clear that the reports that are coming out regarding De Ketelaere and Leicester, sorry, and Bruges, is that Bruges does not want to sell De Ketelaere. Bruges wants to sell Now Lang this time around, which seems like, I don't know if the reports are true. Seems like now Lang and Milan have already come to agreement. There's also an agreement on the clubs and the price of the player. So this was today on Radio Rossonero. They were saying this, according to the sources that were coming out from Casa Milan, essentially, is that Bruges does not want to sell De Ketelaere. They don't want to sell Now Lang and De Ketelaere in the same market. They want to sell one this time around and the other one the other time around, which makes sense. But I think they really like De Ketelaere. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not like super impressed with this player. You know, I'm just talking about this player because this is the player that they seem to be really wanting. What is your impression of De Ketelaere? Like, how do you rate De Ketelaere essentially?
So I think I know this. I'm not trying to be like too crazy or whatever, but I think that he does have many similar aspects to De Bruyne. Like he's physically very strong. He plays the attacking midfielder position. He's good on the ball. He has a good shot, I think, from what I've seen. He's not very quick. That could be kind of an issue. But he's got pretty solid passing, and he's definitely a good prospect. He's young, and he has some Champions League experience. So I think he's a very good player. But 40 million, I'm kind of like torn with this because on the one hand, when you have these prospects that are young, they can grow so much more, and for 40 million, you could end up signing the next De Bruyne, right? So like it could be totally worth it, and having like a world class cam in the future. But then also for 40 million right now, is he worth 40 million right now? I don't know, and I think it's a risk, and so I think I would easily buy him for like 20, 25 million. But I think 40 million is a bit too high for what he should be valued.
So just
right now.
going forward with this idea, like according to you, who is a 40 million player?
A 40 million player. Well, it's different now. I guess the prices are inflated because of for many reasons.
Or let me ask you,
this Mercato, but
it's opinions. It's fine. Like, who would you spend 40 million for?
Is it have to be an attacking midfielder or just any attacking player?
Any player you want.
I haven't really thought about that. I would say I don't even think Berardi is worth 40 million in my opinion.
No,
so
I don't think so either.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it's hard. The players we're linked with, none of them I really value to be that much personally. But I mean, I guess I'll think about it. You can come back to me, but
yeah,
I can't really. Like,
no, I agree. Look, I agree with you. It's hard to think about who you would spend 40 million for, especially because we are Milan. And when we speak about 40 million, I know that 40 million today is not the same as 40 million 10 years ago or 15 years ago because of the inflation and etc. But I can't think of many players I would spend 40 million for right now, aside from the few superstars that exist. But anyway, it does look like De Ketelaere has a good chance of coming to Milan this summer. And I think if we do get De Ketelaere, we're going to make a really good operation. Because at the end of the day, we can be here speculating, we can watch these highlights all we want, but the experts are Maldini and Massara. And if they choose De Ketelaere as their prime target, there must be a reason. Who are we to question them?
Right.
Yeah.
There's one. I guess there's this player that I don't want to start. This is like we talked about this yesterday, but if you're asking me for 40 million, maybe 40 to 50 million, I think would be a fair valuation after this season, which is pretty poor. I think Lukaku. I know it's like it's this would never happen because it's with Chelsea, but if you're like valuing a player, he was. I think he was sold for like basically 100 million from Inter to Chelsea. His value, and he has the quality, so it may be worth a bit more than 40 million, obviously. But like I would value him at like maybe like 50 million, so like a little bit around there. Someone maybe even actually, I guess it would be higher than that. But I'm trying to think. Maybe Brozovic. That's someone
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those are fair opinions. Listen, before we move on, I want to say hello to chat because we haven't said hello to chat yet. We got Falcon Flynn, what's up, my man? Please like the video. We got Christian, what's up, Christian? How you doing, my friend? We got Bello Mohamed, what's up, my man? We got Centurio Lost, what's up? How you doing? Forza Milan, Centurio Lost. We got Hans, guys. Hans, by the way, I gotta say, has the eye of a scout because he has been talking about some of these players way before they even appeared in the media. So well done, Hans. Well done. Whose turn is it to be one step away from Milan today? Many players, all the players basically. We got Udit in the house. We got Mohammed who says, "Roy, did we share Antonio's graduation pictures yet, or did I miss the moment?" Not yet. We're waiting for Antonio to make those pictures available. But we will. We will. We got Kangoo in the house too. What's up, Kangoo? You got a clean shot at Ketelaere. How does that work? Well, it works by being called AC Milan, and players want to go to AC Milan. Guys, I'm a Maldini primary scout. Don't worry, we won't mess this up. No, I gotta say, like Hans has been talking about these players, and then all of a sudden, they're Milan's primary target. And
Roy,
also,
I want to say you skipped this comment too.
is it appropriate to rename Antonio to Professor Antonio? Of course, Professor Antonio.
Yes. I can teach after yesterday. We can talk about some history, some science, all
All
of that.
right, right, yeah, guys, you guys went in, huh? Man,
Yes,
that was crazy. All right, anyway, let's move on. Okay, so De Ketelaere. Very good possibility we're going to be seeing De Ketelaere with an AC Milan shirt.
bro. What do you think about this comment? I would say he's worth more than that, but I would say Nkunku is like a 60, 70 million for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's probably 60 million. 60 million, but I think 40 million is more realistic. I don't know.
Yeah,
For me, these prices are just crazy in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. Well, for example, Darwin Nunez, I don't think is worth 100 million. Like, but he just got sold 80 million plus bonuses to 100 million to Liverpool.
Yeah,
I think that's just overpriced, but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
whatever.
absolutely. All right, so let's move on from De Ketelaere. Any other players you want to talk about before we go into the next player that I got here?
Well, there's been a lot of links today, and nothing is like too concrete. Another player is Asensio. I don't know if you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
looked at. I mean, apparently there's a lot of news coming out saying that furthering the claims that he's going to be leaving this summer, and that Milan are like one of the teams that are most interested in him. He's definitely sort of like the right winger cam player, so he would fit into our formation pretty nicely. Um, he's not too young, so I don't really, he's not like super exciting, but
Yeah, no, there was some heavy links with Asensio today regarding regarding the player, basically saying that Maldini was going to Spain, or I think they said Ibiza, and for the Blitz, they use that language. Um, Now, Asensio, I'm not a big fan of this player, to be honest with you. I mean, if we do land him, I'm sure he's going to do great. I think he's going to help Theo Hernandez because if Theo Hernandez has his friends leaving, which we're going to talk about, he's going to need his friends to party with, right? So maybe Milan needs to get a few Spanish players so Asensio can party. Theo Hernandez can party. But from what I remember about Asensio is that he's asking for too much wages that just with Milan they would never happen for that kind of player.
Yeah.
right? He's asking to be paid like Ibrahimovic. Like this guy's a nobody.
Yeah, I mean, he's going from Real Madrid to Milan, and I think they have much more leniency with wages than us. So he's yeah. I don't think I think realistically, I think we could make it happen, but he would probably, of course, have to drop his requests because they're like
Yeah,
around
right, right.
7 million, 6.5, whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, that's one that unless exactly he decides to go down to 4.5 or whatever, I don't think we're going to be seeing that transfer happen anytime soon. Anytime soon. Other players that have been linked with Milan are some other wingers today. For example, this one right here, Anthony.
Well, I'm so Kangoo's here. I've been seeing a lot of Man United links with Anthony and De Jong and stuff like that today because of Eric Ten Hag coming in as manager. Uh, I don't think we can outbid Man United or other teams that are interested in this player. Um,
I don't believe. Yeah, I think Anthony is going to be one of those players that is just going to be too difficult to get, because he's a highlight reel maestro, right? These kind of
yeah,
players, they go for too much. I don't think Anthony even cares about AC Milan. I don't even know if he's the right profile for Milan, to be honest with you.
yeah, he's a very attacking player.
Yeah, but hey, who knows? I mean, if it's a 45 million for Anthony, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think. I think Anthony is part of those players that are in that stratosphere that are a little bit unreachable for Milan today, unless they want to make a sacrifice.
I will say this with Anthony, I think he's really good. I like him. I think he's overvalued though. Like, 'cause I don't think he's proven himself to be like like a clinical goal scorer as much. I mean, I haven't really seen his stats. I'm sure they're good stats, but not like I
They're
don't.
they're,
He's
they're
not. He's
normal.
not.
They're
Yeah,
normal. They're
he's not
normal.
really like world class, is what I'm saying. So like, I
Yeah,
wouldn't pay more than like
a lot of
50
people would
million.
disagree with you, but I don't.
I mean, he hasn't proven himself to be world class, in my opinion.
Well, let's see what this article says. According to Tuttosport via Pianeta Milan, Jeffrey Moncada has followed Anthony since 2020, when he was at Sao Paulo, and they were readying an offer to sign him as Paolo Maldini and Enrique Massara had been convinced. Oh man, they should have got him back then instead of freaking whoever they got. However,
Salamakers, maybe.
yeah. However, Ajax beat Milan to him and paid 20 million to bring him to Amsterdam and to
That's why.
replace Hakim Ziyech, who in the meantime flew to London to sign for Chelsea. Another player, Hakim Ziyech, that we might start to see him being linked with Milan again. In the 2021-20, especially with the Bakayoko thing, once Milan starts to go into the Chelsea thing with Bakayoko, I think Chelsea, we're going to start to see these names. Chelsea's going to throw names. We're going to offer you this, offer you that. They're going to try to offload players. In the 2021-22 campaign, he truly exploded with 12 goals and 10 assists in 33 games across all competitions. Okay, so Berardi has better numbers than those, right? So again, like, is this a player worth all this money? Because I don't think Berardi is worth that kind of money, and Berardi has better numbers than those.
Well, I will say this though: the numbers. I don't think you can only use numbers as like a metric for comparison, because there's other factors as well. But I will agree that looking at Berardi, I think Anthony looks like he has more quality than Berardi in some aspects, and he's also. I feel like I don't know what is it. How old is Anthony? Is he like 20? I feel like he's younger than Berardi, but I'm not
No, he's a
positive.
youngster. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he's a youngster. That's
So
yeah.
that's why he'd be worth more as well. But he still isn't like I wouldn't pay more than like 50 million for him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, he's no man. I wouldn't even get close to those kind of numbers. But of course, if they value him these numbers, and maybe they have a reason. Milan need a right winger, and they're enticed by the idea of signing Anthony in the summer mercato, but they do not intend to enter an auction to secure him, which could be an issue as Manchester United, now led by head coach Eric Ten Hag, who left the Dutch capital, have offered 45 million. So let me get this straight. Ten Hag was at Ajax.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was just at Ajax. and then Man United to replace Ragnick brought him in, and now all the United fans are like hoping that he's going to be the savior to lead them out of the darkness and back into the light.
Mm,
So now he's going to like restructure the team and everything.
Well, in that case, I think they definitely have an advantage.
Oh, of course, yeah, and also
Definitely.
not just that. There's also the fact that they can outbid us for anything. So, I mean, they're gonna.
Right.
I mean, we can't afford those prices.
Right.
At
Yeah.
that point, we would probably be making bids for Nkunku, other players. Like it wouldn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Anthony, I consider him to be in that stratosphere of players in the market, even though I don't personally value him that highly, but that's how the market values him. Another player that was being linked to Milan today was Politano.
Right, you must be happy about that one.
Would I be happy about Politano? No, not really. I wouldn't say so. I think Politano. Here it is. I would have wanted to see a little bit more from Politano. I think he is a very good winger, by the way. I mean, he is a very good winger. The question is, let me ask you then, and let me ask the chat also. Would Politano be an upgrade to Messias or Salamakers?
Attacking wise, so he's a very good goal scorer, right? For a right winger, I believe.
Yeah.
He's good at scoring. I would think that Politano is like, if he could be in like the bench of like of top class team, maybe like a bench rotation. Like he's definitely like for like Real Madrid, for example. Like he's kind of like sort of. I don't think he's that much worse than like an Asensio, or like he's like kind of like Asensio in that sense, where he can kind of be on the bench, but he's not like a top class player. So I mean, it depends. If we can't afford any top class players, then he would be a decent option for us. But he still wouldn't really change much. I think.
Um, so you don't think he would bring much improvement from Messias and Salamakers, really?
I think he's more attacking than Salamakers, and he scores more goals than Messias. But I think, I mean, if that's what you're looking for in a right winger, then yes, we'd improve a bit, but like not too much. I don't think.
Hmm. Okay. Well, let's read the article. Let's see what it says. According to Pianeta Milan, there are plenty of doubts about the right wing role, given that Samu Castillejo is expected to be sold. Yeah, we forgot about him, Samu Castillejo. Junior Messias will soon see his loan deal expire, and Alexis Salamakers could also be used to generate funds. My intuition, my guess is that Salamakers is not going anywhere. That's my guess. The market is going to be between Samu Casillo and Junior Messias. Also because Alexis Salamakers is a young kid. Like you want to grow him. But I don't know. Speculations. There are a number of targets in the sights of Paolo Maldini and Ricky Massara, including Nicolo Zaniolo, Berardi, De Ketelaere, Marco Asensio, and Anthony. However, it must not be discounted that a surprise profile may arrive, and there are two players currently playing in Serie A that could well respond to that notion in Matteo Politano and Hamid Traore. Hamid Traore, I see much more of a possibility. Much more of a possibility for a few reasons. One, him and Pioli share the same agent, the same with Messias. And also, Traore is a 30 million player. It's not 40 million, blah, blah, blah. So that's their starting price, according to the reports that we're seeing. So you can only bring it down from there. Maybe you can bring 25 million plus a youngster. So Traore could be a possibility if some of these bigger targets don't come to fruition. What do you think about that?
Traore though. Wait, do you see him as a right winger?
I'm assuming Traore. Well, Traore in Sassuolo plays mostly as a left winger. I'm
Yeah.
assuming you could probably play him in all three of those positions. I associate mostly to the left wing. Yeah, if I want to be completely honest about that.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of these attacking players that we don't really know how they would like where they would play. So I think with the De Ketelaere, for example, you kind of know he's going to be a cam. With Anthony, you know he's going to be an inverted right winger. So it's things like that. Like do we have to go more clear cut with these players, or is it like freedom? in that sense.
Right. We got to see. Macias is he plays on the right, but he's left-footed, right? Isn't he left-footed?
Yeah, he's inverted. Yeah.
Yeah, he's inverted. Traore, I believe he plays in the left, but he is right-footed, so he's inverted. But anyway,
Is
Traore.
a quick
Yeah, go ahead.
question: Is Chiesa? I know he uses both feet, but do you know if he's right foot dominant or left foot dominant?
I'm not sure. I want to say I wouldn't be surprised if he is ambidextrous.
I mean, that's what I mean, he plays like that, which is amazing. But
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the names are getting more and more. We're getting more and more names as we go forward in this mercato. More and more names to speculate about. Um, the question is this, and I even put it in the chat. Like, are we going to be content with only signing one player, only have bring in Origi? Are we going to be content going into the next season with Messias and Salamakers on the right and Origi and Giroud up top? These are all questions that I wonder what many of us think. But I believe that they have to do something this summer. We'll see what it is. We'll see what it is. All right. What else you got, Antonio? You got anything else?
let me see. Oh, there's also apparently another defensive player we're looking at
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk
from
about the defense for a second.
Arsenal. Uh, his name is Pablo Mari. Is a 28-year-old defender who was at loan at Udinese this season, and it seems like we apparently have some interest in him in case we don't get Botman and Bremer. And this is like a low cost option. I don't really like this player too much, but whatever.
Yes. I've heard about. There was also uh, a South Korean player that was linked to Milan
Yeah,
recently.
yeah. I don't know his name, but he plays for Fenerbahce. So in Turkey, and he's from South Korea, center back. I think he's like mid 20s. And he also is another option. I think he'd be around like just over 10 million, around 10 million, 15 million. So these are like cheaper.
Yes. So basically, it seems like, of course, Milan has these two primary targets, Botman and Bremer, and then now we're looking at all these other targets. I do want to say something about Bremer that came up that was very interesting regarding his clause. We're going to read that in a little bit, but let's go to chat for a little bit. Let's see what chat is saying. Uh, let's see. Here's another player. Salboken isn't big enough name for United. Let's
Solbakken.
Solbakken, not sure who he is. No Chiesa, no party, Paul KB says. Traore, right-footed. I believe he is. I think he is an inverted left winger. I could be wrong about that, but I
I
believe
think
he's
I see him cutting in a lot.
yeah, yeah. He cuts in a lot, and he likes to play. He likes to score those swingers. Far post swingers, tiragir as they call them in Italian. Those goals alla Insigne. So I believe he's right-footed. Yeah. We can sign Belotti for free instead of spending 40 on Scamacca. If Belotti fails, he can be sold next summer for 10-15. We can use 40 million on other positions. Scamacca, another player that is today is being linked with many teams. So another player that we can talk about. But Belotti also came back in the news, saying that they were waiting to see what's going to happen. Belotti might go to Fiorentina, might go to one of these clubs like that. Probably will. I'm assuming probably will. But he is still. There are still some links with Milan there. Most likely he will probably go to a team like Fiorentina or Roma, maybe. Who knows? Or
Right. I just did some research about Traore's foot, and apparently he's listed as like being able to use both feet, but
okay,
then some sources say he's more right-footed than others. So
okay.
yes, that
So
is correct.
predominantly right-footed, but good with both feet.
Yeah.
Paul KB says Origi is not the only signing we're going to make in the attacking department. Something will be done. In Maldini, we trust. Yes, sir. In Maldini, we definitely do trust, Paul. Tickside says he's garbage. I'm not sure who Tickside is referring to.
Maybe one of the defenders, Madi or
Yeah,
the other.
probably. Oh, that's right. Min Jae Kim. Min Jae Kim was linked to Milan as a possible defender. Do you have anything else on the defenders?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Bauman is slipping out of our control because we're not really like looking like we're bolstering that too much. Um, I there is a little bit of news about him. Actually, I think I just found this article saying that Newcastle have issued an ultimatum uh, over Botman.
Oh
So
yeah.
because Lille are trying to raise their asking price, and like they're basically saying that they want around 42 million euros at least, and Newcastle is sort of like, and which is raised from what they previously had said. So Newcastle is a bit like angered by this.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yes, this one right here from the Telegraph, correct?
Yes.
All right, let's look at it. Let's look at it. According to the Telegraph, Newcastle believe that they're being targeted by attacks that is complicating the pursuit of various targets, something which has put them off the likes of Everton striker Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or Lewis, I think he's called, Brentford's Ivan Toney, and Leeds United winger Jack Harrison. As a result, Newcastle are trying to take the power back into their own hands, and they're ready to issue an ultimatum to Lille over Botman, having offered 30 million to sign the Dutchman to try and beat Milan to his signing. The French club seemed to have changed their mind on accepting Newcastle offer, raising the price and setting it at 36 million, around 42 million euros, something which has caused the Magpies to become a bit restless about the situation while Milan await for developments. I mean, for me, it's so strange. These numbers to me are so strange that we're talking about these kind of numbers for a defender. It's really weird to me. I mean, Tomori, we spent what 28 million for Tomori, I think.
Yeah, and the Bremer's cheaper, like by a lot apparently, which is like why if he's proven himself playing. I mean, I know Bauman's played in the Champions League, but he still hasn't. Bremer's just won the best defender in the Serie A, so how is he that much cheaper than Botman? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Paul KB says Botman is a done deal, in my opinion. Origi and Nathan Botman are all done. Lille is just trying to fuck it up for more money. So we're going to talk about Lille because there's a situation there with Lille which is going to slow down even Renato Sanchez, unfortunately. So we have to wait a little bit more there. Um, I'm not sure, guys. We're going to find out. We're going to find out probably next month. I think it's going to go up to next month at this point. But I don't I really find it strange that Milan is going to put on the table 30 million, 40 million for a defender. It's like I'm not sure. But let's use this as a good segue to go to the other report regarding Bremer, which is very interesting. Regarding his release clause, did you see it? Have you seen this one?
Well, I know his release clause is going to be activated in January, right? 15 million.
Yes. Yeah, so this could be an interesting option. And by the way, Inter today or something like that, they got a huge offer for Skriniar from PSG. A huge offer. I don't know if again, guys. I know in this channel, you know, nobody believes anything. We are not here telling people what to believe. We're just reporting what is being reported and opinionating on what is being reported. But Skriniar got a huge offer, something like 80 million for Skriniar, some crazy number like that. If that's the case, I don't see Bremer coming to Milan. I see Inter with a big advantage. Maybe Inter will go for Botman in the end. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, let's read this article and let's see what it says. AC Milan and other suitors are aware of a clause in Bremer's contract at Torino that could see him arrive in a cheaper deal, a report claims. According to Corriere dello Sport, Bremer is among Milan's transfer targets as they look to bolster the rear guard with a new centre-back to replace the outgoing Alessio Romagnoli. However, the paper claims that there is a particular clause present in his contract which is tempting to the Rossoneri and others who are interested. In January 2023, Bremer would free himself for less than 50 million thanks to a clause in the contract signed when he renewed with Torino. Therefore, there would be an element of reward for patience as signing him in the winter would result in a discount that is potentially close to 50% of the current price, which is 25 million.
Roy, you're muted.
Sorry. Inter cannot afford to wait until January. Okay? If they're going to get Skriniar, if they're going to sell Skriniar, they need to get a defender right away, and Inter has already been heavily linked with Bremer. But let's say they don't go for Bremer. Let's say they go for someone else. Milan can wait. Milan can already make an agreement with him right now, and wait, and they can just have what's his name? Who's our fourth defender? Gabbia. They can have Gabbia, and then in January get him. But yeah, Inter cannot afford to wait. We could potentially afford to wait, and I think if we do wait, boy, is that a deal! Holy crap, is that a deal? What do you think about this, Antonio? How would you approach it?
Honestly, I would be negotiating for Bremer right now, but that's just my own opinion. I'd be getting him right now, like getting it done. I mean, if Torino asked for more than 25 million, then they would be stalled. But if you can get him right now for 25 million, take him from Inter right away. Like it just makes sense.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I agree. If I had the choice, I would rather get Bremer right now for that defensive lineup. I think that would be the smartest thing to do. I 100% agree with you. Amir says, "Oh well." I heard good things about the defender in Turkey, but it personally never watched him play. Majidin says regarding the South Korean player. Amir says it seems that there will be no Botman nor Bremer. In my opinion, we should bring back Caldara and keep Romagnoli. I would actually keep Romagnoli if I could get it. Honestly, I know this is controversial, and I'm gonna get a lot of shit. I honestly would like renegotiate Romagnoli's contract, offer him a much less, whatever, and I'd keep him, and I'd be fine with that. I know people are gonna not like that, but whatever. Any opinions on that?
No. You know my opinion, Roy.
Yeah, you hate.
Get him out. Get him out.
Tickside says it's crazy that Inter, with all their financial issues, can still beat us to players. Surely this is Narnia. It is strange that Inter can make these crazy operations, and they're literally on the brink of losing the club, Zhang. But
well, you know, if they fund it with Skriniar's money, then yeah.
Right. Yeah. If that report is true, and PSG is willing to spend 80 million for Skriniar, which is craziness. I don't know how Inter managed to fool them into doing that, but yeah, with 80 million, you can get 3 great players and rebuild your team. Inter is also interested in Milankovic. Okay, something that we are not. All right. Anything else regarding defenders or anything like that?
I mean, so not defenders, but Noah Lang is kind of floating around. I don't think that we're far advanced with Noah Lang as of today.
You don't think so?
No. Not. I mean, there's some interest, but I think we were getting news sources that were like speculating a lot about him just because he wants to come, and you don't. As of now, it's not too advanced, so it's kind of.
Gotcha.
It's up, sort of.
Yeah. Well, the reports are saying that there's been an agreement with the player and the team. The last thing I read was that it's up to Redbird, But I think there's more to it. I think there's more to it. I agree with you that there's a little bit more to it. I just want to show everybody, guys. This was the front page of a newspaper of all the. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Italy, but this newspaper is in every bar, in every shop, everywhere you go. Gazzetta dello Sport is a very popular newspaper in Italy. This was the front page. Decathlon, Eurocolpo, un Milan da 10. So Gazzetta dello Sport trying to really sell some newspapers to the Milanisti, I guess. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about Brahim Diaz since he was in the news too. Before I get to that article, what are your opinions on Brahim Diaz? What do you see happening?
I would say that I would see him staying for another year because he's going to finish off the loan deal.
Yeah,
Um, Personally, I think he was very poor this season. I think that I don't mind if he stays one more year because I think, unlike Romagnoli, there's some more potential there. I know he can play better, um, and I think that that's probably what's going to happen is that we're going to keep him for one more year. I think he should be a bench like rotational player. He should not be like starting every game in the biggest games. So I think hopefully that's what we're going to see this year.
guys, we have 32 viewers and only 17 likes. Come on, guys, it doesn't cost you anything to press that button. Be part of the growth of this channel. Touch, click on that button. Let's get it up to 32 likes, just like as many viewers that we have. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. Okay, real quick thoughts on Brahim Diaz for me. I like this player. I like these kind of players that are technical, that are creative, that are a menace, low gravity players that are difficult to press resistant in many cases. Diaz is still young, is still developing, is still in that development phase, and we haven't seen the best of him. We've seen a season of him where he started really strong, but then he wasn't able to maintain the same form he started after he came back from his injury. But just like Leao, just like Tonali, just like Kalulu, just like all these players, eventually they are going to make that step. They are going to grow, and they are going to get closer to that level of maturity. I'm expecting Diaz next season to have a very good season. I'm expecting him to be an important player for Milan, and or wherever he goes. Because he's not going to be like this forever. If you think that Diaz is going to be the 22, 22, 21, 22 Diaz for the rest of his career, you're 100% wrong about that. So I want Milan to be patient with him, and also we need him for the numbers. He's not going to go anywhere, and I'm really happy if he stays. If we can have our offensive, if our two choices are Decathlon and Diaz, then nobody's complaining. Nobody's complaining. So that's my opinion on Diaz. Guys in chat, let me know what you think about Diaz. If you think that we should offload him, that I know Tick Size doesn't like him at all, but in chat, let me know what you think. Now, if he stays, do you see him doing a big jump, or do you think he's just? What do you see, Antonio, in his distant future?
I think that he can be good. I don't know if he'll ever be world class, but he has the skill potential to be pretty good. And I think he can definitely be important to our season. Um, he just, for some reason, I don't know what it was, like he looked extremely sloppy and he looked like kind of careless in many of the games last season. But I've seen him play much better. So I think he can. I mean, at the end of like not this season, but at the end of the season before, when we came in second place and we played against Juventus, for example, he scored that big goal. Like it looked like he was improving, like at scoring goals and like being in the moment and really contributing, being clinical. And then even in the beginning of this season, he like looked good. He scored a couple goals, but then he just dropped off like again, and I was not expecting that. So hopefully he can pick it back up.
Yeah. Mohammed says, I liked because you asked. Thank you, Mohammed, for liking the stream. Really appreciate it. Mohammed Kassim, Tick says, maybe you were right. Maybe we are just extremely cheap, and Redbird is a broke bird, and they're just a smokescreen and not here for any level of ambition. I really don't believe that. I really don't believe that. But I hope that I am right and you are wrong. I really do. I really hope that you're not right. Let me put it that way. But you might be right. You might be right. I just hope that you're not. I'm good with Diaz, but we need one more to challenge him. Yes, yes. Diaz needs to be challenged in that position for sure. 100%. Rico Romin says, totally agree with Roy. Diaz will explode next season. We just need to be patient. Yep. Mohamed Kassim, I want to be wrong, but I'm deeply suspicious of Cardinale, and you should be. You have every right to be suspicious of Cardinale. Um, you know, we were, a lot of us were suspicious of Elliot at first, but Van Elliot, for me, he did a great job. Anyway, let's read this about Kessie and midfielders. We haven't spoken about the midfield much today, I think at all. Corriere dello Sport. Kessie says goodbye, but Milan have 3 midfield arrivals lined up. Corriere dello Sport writes how Frank Kessie will leave the Rossoneri after 5 years, having decided not to renew his contract. And by the way, guys, I want to bring up the conversation about Bennacer again. I want to just point out one thing. With him going to Spain. Despite this, new names are ready for Stefano Pioli midfield to ensure that Kessie's absence is not felt from a numerical point of view. A new signing in Renato Sanchez should replace Vivorian, more for the role than for his style of play. Then Tommaso Pobega will also return to the Rossoneri. By the way, Radio Rossonero today, there was a guest there that said she was in communication with the people at Casa Milan, and they're saying that Pobega is no way going to be used as an exchange piece. Pobega they renewed his contract with Milan. He is definitely going to be a Milan player for the next upcoming campaign. Also because of the quota thing, but because they believe in the player and they think that he has reached his maturity. Then Tommaso Pobega will also return after his fruitful experience on loan with Spezia and Torino, and after having been part of the national team. Finally, Milan will also get Yassine Ali back from his loan at Bordeaux. So, Sanchez, Ali, Pobega. I mean, I think Ali's going to do well. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a pretty good player. The more I watch his highlights, he looks like a good player. I think Pobega is going to be great, to be honest with you. I don't think Pobega is going to be coming to Milan and going to be a bum. I know some people think that, but Pobega is a Serie A player. He's a national team player. He's going to perform at Milan. He's going to perform at Milan. Quick thing about Bennacer, Antonio, and then I want to hear your opinions about this. Yesterday I brought up this idea that because Bennacer is not renewing yet and he's holding back, maybe he wants to wait and see, and maybe he doesn't renew and therefore we sell him. So some people were saying that those links with him and Man City and Guardiola were fake or something like that. We're not real. And it made me think. Were they really fake? So I googled Bennacer links to Man City. Bruh, 10 pages. 10 pages of Guardiola calls Bennacer. Man City, Manchester United, interested in Bennacer. Bennacer is a player that is heavily sought out. He's not a player he's not considered a bum. He's not considered a player that big teams don't want.
Hey Roy, well after you finish, there's another interesting development that just was posted. But
okay. So let me just show you guys. Like when I'm saying that Bennacer is a player that is heavily linked to or was heavily linked. Guys, I just want to show you, just Google Bennacer linked with City. Pep Guardiola has reportedly been in touch with Vicente Bennacer to convince him to join Manchester City, blah, 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 blah. And all these articles that have been coming out throughout these 2 years. All of them link it. So it wasn't just a voice that came out and no, it was like constant reports of Manchester City being linked with Ismail Benacer. So I'm telling you guys, don't be upset at me because I'm saying that Benacer might decide not to renew his contract and Milan might monetize him because he decides to go to Manchester City. It's not what I want. I'm just saying these are things that could possibly happen. So be prepared for that, Milanisti, especially all the guys that are really big fans of Benacer. All right, Antonio, what do you have for us?
This is like, it's not too important, but Nine Golan actually, like, in an interview, this is just posted on the Gazzetta dello Sport Instagram. He said that he told De Ketelaere to go to Milan, and then he commented about him, and he said that he's very strong, fast, technical. I mean, not fast, but like quick. I think technical, and he's he sees the goal. He's good at attacking, and he said that he likes him because he doesn't really react or like get impacted by a lot of like the physical tackles on him, and he's very good at carrying the ball, and he's mature, which is kind of similar to De Bruyne in that sense, in my opinion. De Bruyne can carry the ball past anyone. I mean, so good stuff. I mean, Nainggolan, he's a fantastic player. He's kind of like he's very active on social media a lot, but take it or leave it.
Yeah, no, guys, look, I'm saying that I put in the title, De Ketelaere inbound. Like it's not, guys. Like when we were talking about when these reports about Renato Sanchez were coming out, Origi were coming out, it was clear. Okay, these players are probably going to come to Milan. It's looking the same with De Ketelaere. With him and the player probably likes the idea. Salamakers is with him right now. I'm sure they're talking. Nangolan saying these things. I would not be surprised if we are going to have De Ketelaere. And again, guys, let's bring it back to Benacer. Diaz, De Ketelaere as the cam means that Sanchez, Tonali are going to be your first options. We'll find out what Benacer decides what to do. But once again, because yesterday we had a huge war about this, I want people to understand, I'm not saying that I want that to happen. People need to put that in their head. I'm not saying I want that to happen. I'm just saying this might happen, okay? Because all these 20 pages of Google showing millions of articles of how Manchester City has been after Benacer for 2 years are not things I'm making up. They're there. I'm not making up that he does not want to sign the contract. We've been offering this contract to him for a long time now. He is the one that wants to wait. What is he waiting for? He's waiting to see whether or not he can join Man City. He's waiting to see whether or not he's going to be considered one of the first players, whatever. So guys, again, it's not me who's saying I want that to happen. I'm just saying these are things that might happen according to the information that we have. Okay? That's it. What do you think about this situation?
I think that Benacer is definitely this is true. He's sought after by a lot of clubs, but I think that we're going to be able to hold on to him, or at least if we do sell him, we'll make a big profit off of him, because he's one of those players that's been like Maldini. We spoke about this yesterday on the stream, but how like Maldini found him sort of and got to know him. And he's very loyal to the club, I think. So I think the contract renewal is going to come up soon.
That would be the ideal situation. If he signs the contract, that would be ideal. If we can go into the Champions League with our 4 double pivots, Pobega, Sanchez, Tonali, and Renato Sanchez,
Benacer.
Sorry, Benacer, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's great. That is great. And we have De Ketelaere, and we have Brahim Diaz, and we have Adli. The more, the merrier.
It would have been nice if we kept Kessie, but yeah.
It would have been nice if we kept Kessie, correct. But we'll see. I'm not trying to predict the future. I want to wait and see what he does. But you do bring up good points. You know, he does have a very good affinity with Maldini. Maldini, was signed him, or what? I think it was at the African Cup of Nations where
Yeah,
Maldini talked to him first,
yeah.
right? There's that huge, was that story there. So you bring up great points, and we will see. We'll see, guys. We'll see. But we'll see what happens. Let's put this one in the bank. Let's wait a few weeks and see what happens with Benacer, because we are going to be talking about his contract soon. And once we start talking about his contract, we'll see what they say. We'll see what they say. All right. What else do we have? Oh, actually, guys, let's go to chat before Antonio. If you have anything else, let's go to chat. Okay, Tick Size says, Roy, let me be clear. Diaz is very talented. However, my issue is he's able to translate this talent to a game day situation. Well, my answer to that, Tick Size, is that, I'm willing to be patient with him. I think it's good to have him in the roster for the numbers. And I think, like, he's going to develop every year more and more. Of course, Antonio, you can answer whatever you want to answer. Rico Roman is Rico Roman, his physicality and height won't allow that. He's technical, but I can't see him explode. I mean, the thing about height, guys. I'm sorry. I know we've had huge conversations in this channel here, but even as my experience as a football coach, height means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. It's all about talent. It's all
Well,
about
for
talent.
if you're a defender for heading,
Okay, sure. Yeah, you can say if you're like central defenders always tend to be big, tall. But all the other positions, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. And unless you want a specific type of player, right? Unless you want a center forward that is, that. But you can decide: do I want a center forward that is the height of Suarez, or do I want a center forward that is the height of Luca Toni?
yeah.
It's up to you to decide.
Yeah, there's some. By the way, just a couple of like world like Milan, not like beyond Milan, others football news. Croatia beat France today,
Wow.
and this is France and England, and I mean Italy's been doing pretty well in the Nations League. I think there's a lot of rotations going on, but they beat like Luka Modric scored, and they beat France, who's been in a poor run of form. It's kind of like England. And
That's
then
crazy.
also Australia qualified for the World Cup over Peru.
Oh, that's painful.
Over Peru.
Oh,
Um, Also, Erling Haaland was officially announced as a Man City player, like on all social media. Like,
yep.
so a lot of that's going on.
The reason why I say it was painful for Australia is because Australia they hate us because of the 2026 World Cup. They feel like they got robbed by Italy. So Australia has been talking shit about Italy for many years now. So I'm sure for them it's a big win, even regarding to that. Um, by the way, Roy, do you think we should go for Marcelo, the left back, if Balotelli leaves? Hmm. Good question. Marcelo leaving Real Madrid, free agent. Interesting player. Interesting player. Mm, well, remember that Theo Hernandez is going to play 90% of the games. If Marcelo wants to play on the bench, sit on the bench, and be used like how we use Florenzi, then absolutely, 100%. He'd be like Florenzi. It'd be like we have a Florenzi on the right and we have a Florenzi on the left. What do you think?
Nah, no, not worth it. He's very old. He should
How
probably go
old
back
is
to
he?
South America.
How
Like
old
to
is he?
finish. Um, I'll look him up, but
Yeah, I know he's definitely going towards the end of his career, though.
he is 34. Uh, doesn't like barely played at all this season for Real Madrid. I think we need someone maybe. I always prefer to develop other players rather than getting older players.
Yeah, if you ask me, would I prefer to develop a new player or get Marcelo? I would say I would rather get a new player, but I wouldn't be disappointed if we can land Marcelo for like 1 year, something like that, or whatever. Okay, let's move on to Scamacca, since we haven't talked about him yet. A player that is well contested, apparently. Apparently. So let's read this. Gianluca Scamacca is on AC Milan's list of targets for the striker role. And, again, we have to ask ourselves, do we want to go into the next competition with Origi and Giroud? That's it? That's a good question to ask. But they're not. But Milan is not the only team keen on the Sassuolo star. Scamacca is currently away with the Italian national team, who are looking to start a new and more positive cycle. A lot of these players are the subject of intense speculation regarding their future at club level, and Scamacca is no different. Calciomercato reports that the Sassuolo centre forward has ended up in sights of Milan, Juventus, and Inter. Of course, if Inter sign Lukaku, that's never going to happen. However, the three biggest clubs in Serie A are not alone in the pursuit of him, because Arsenal, Dortmund, and Paris Saint-Germain are also keen on the former Genoa loanee, with BVB. Who's BVB?
Dortmund.
Borussia, seeing him as the main for post Haaland. Wow. That would be a pretty good destination for him, actually. He has already played in Holland, I believe, right? He was in Holland, so he already has the experience of being abroad. Borussia would be a great destination for a youngster like that to develop, and they give a lot of time and responsibility to these youngsters.
Yeah, Germany as well is an open. It's good for strikers, so
Yeah,
good development.
I saw him play against England, and I gotta say his hold-up play is great. He's got great hold-up play. I think if you want to play, if you're a team that wants to play possession football, Scamacca is one of the best options you can have right now. Even better than Darwin Núñez. When it comes to goal scoring, that's a different story. That's a different story altogether. Goal scoring, he's not been proficient. His numbers are the same as Jonathan Davis, by the way, who is a player that is well sought after. But his real talent, Scamacca, is his hold-up play. As far as hold-up play, I don't see many other strikers that are as good as he is in the hold-up play. But a striker needs to score goals. A striker needs to score goals, plenty of goals. So in my opinion, if we get Scamacca, it would be excellent. If he goes to PSG, great for him, great for the national team. Go to Borussia Dortmund, maybe the best destination for him. I don't see him going to Inter. I don't see him going to Juventus. I think his only options are Milan and these foreign clubs. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Inter not. I mean, if they get Lukaku, no way. They're not really too interested in him. Juventus just got Vlahovic. Doesn't really make sense. Roma have Abraham. Lazio have Immobile. It's not looking like he's gonna, I mean, maybe like Fiorentina, but they wouldn't be able to pay the transfer fee. So
I honestly think that would be a mistake for him to do.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, that would make sense. Either Milan or a foreign club. Another club.
Yeah.
Out of the country.
Because I mean, Juventus, they have Chiesa, Vlahovic. They have actually maybe there is space for Scamacca.
Morata.
All right, then Morata. Yeah, I don't think there's any space for him over there. Inter, it depends on what they do in this mercato. He could end up at Inter if they can't land some of his targets. But yeah, I really like his hold-up play. His hold-up play is fantastic. Let's see. Majidine says, let's go to chat. In my opinion, we will use Renato as cam, and that way we'll have 5 players in the double pivot. Well, if we have, maybe. It depends, guys. It depends if we get another, cam, like a Ketelaere, or let's say a Raspadori, or whatever. One of these players. We got to wait and see what happens with that. Benacer's quality, he can become a world-class player at his best. Impossible not to see that, but his injuries are irritating me. Do you consider Benacer an injury-prone player, Antonio?
I mean, I guess you kind of have to. He kind of has these muscle injuries, right? Like things like that kind of like Sanchez, but not as bad as Sanchez. I don't think, with the amount of time that he's missed. I mean, in a way, yes, but he's not like I'm not concerned about his injuries.
Yeah, I don't think I consider him a injury-prone player. I tell you what, though, he takes his time after his injuries to get back at full form. He
Yeah.
definitely has his time. Also, here we're talking about those short defenders. Rico Ramin is reminding us about great defenders of the past that were, short. Cannavaro, Mascherano, Koundé, they're all
Koundé
small
is a
center backs.
present defender. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Cannavaro, man, his jump was crazy. How that guy would win every fucking header. If you guys have the time and watch the highlights of Cannavaro in the 26 World Cup, he wins every single header. I don't know how he did it. Guys, we got Laert in the chat. 34 is a good age. I think he's talking about Marcelo. Listen, for me, Marcelo would be like a Florenzi kind of operation. So if we can get Florenzi, like a second Florenzi, I'd be all up for it. I don't want Scamacca, Tixai says. Nathan in the house. What's up, Nathan? How you doing? All right. So what else do we have, Antonio?
Not really much. I think I saw. Let's see, there's one other player that we can talk about.
Oh,
I mean,
okay. Oh yeah. I do want to go to an article. I want to go to two more articles, but yeah, go ahead.
there are like people are saying that there's a long way to go for Zaniolo because there's like a gap of like 25 million euros for what we can
Yeah.
like pay.
Right.
Um, yeah, I think that's basically everything like major today. All the players. Oh yeah, Leao played yesterday for Portugal. He scored a goal, but it was offsides by another player, and Portugal lost. So there's just Milan players have been playing in the UEFA Nations League qualifiers as well. So
Leao not doing too great, huh? With the national team.
not yeah, he's not doing too well, but that's fun.
All right, so hey, let's go to this article because you mentioned it earlier. I just want to read it because this is a translated from Italian to English, so mind you, some words might sound strange. Charles de Keller is one of Milan's market targets. The Belgian colony in Milanello could therefore soon boast another player in addition. So let's go straight to the quote. Nainggolan's quote. Raja Nainggolan, interviewed by Gazzetta dello Sport, talked about De Keller and a possible landing in Italy. The words of a former Cagliari player are, he's a very strong player and he needs exactly that, to test himself in a more competitive context than the current one. De Keller here has won in the last 3 tournaments. In the last 2 seasons, he has been an undisputed holder of the team. What else can he aspire to? His journey in Belgium is over. He must impose himself elsewhere. Okay, so I guess there's no mention of those other quotes that you had talked about. I guess it's a different article. But okay, I did not know this. So he's won the league 3 times in a row. That
He
is
won this year, but yeah, I haven't really been watching the Belgian league.
Wow, guys! If he's already won that league 3 times in a row, so there's literally no reason for him to stay there. He needs to leave. Prometheus says, I hope we don't get Scamacca Raspadori. Only Italian I want is Zaniolo. And let's finish on the Zaniolo article, and then we can finish here for today. Let me find it. What do you have on Zaniolo?
Just the fact that we're far away for like 25 million euros off of what they're asking. Not like we haven't really today. Honestly, besides the Ketelaere, there hasn't been too much like concrete action. I guess by July 1st, which is when like the the global mercato opens, I hope that we start seeing more concrete.
Yeah, right now we are definitely in a speculation mode. You know,
Yeah.
it's all speculation and just guessing. I guess guessing what's going to happen. So this another one in Italian. I have to translate it. Let's see. Zaniolo million, 50 million. they're not much, and if it lasts, you need 70. Oh, so basically, it's a bad translation. Whoever said this said that 50 million for Zaniolo right now is not much, but if you wait, he's going to be 70 million. Um, yeah, I saw these articles. I don't understand why they don't have this article in English. The translations are not very good. Um, what articles do you have regarding Zaniolo?
So I can pull it up again. Okay.
Is it in English?
Yes. It says it's from Il Tempo, but it's
Okay.
written. It's a Sempre Milan article
Ah, okay.
posted in English, and it says there's a
Yeah.
huge difference between the offer and the asking price. Um, it says basically Milan are interested, and this news source is saying they have submitted an offer worth 35 million plus bonuses. But whenever you see these like sort of if these offers aren't confirmed, then usually you can't really tell if they're like 100% like real or not. But maybe this is more of like what we're willing to pay. But regardless, Roma, the asking price at the moment is 60 million, which is, like I said, Roma is going to be difficult to negotiate with. They're not going to give us much leeway. Um, and although Ricky Massara and Paolo Maldini like him a lot, they're not willing to put like a much like an offer over 35 million uh, for him. So it's going to be very difficult.
I mean, if we can steal him for 35 million, that would be incredible. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, when if these prices are true, I wouldn't definitely spend that money on Zaniolo. No way. And obviously, they wouldn't. So we'll see what happens with Zaniolo. We'll see what happens. If these are his prices, yeah, then I will have to agree with Laret was saying that he isn't going anywhere. I don't think anybody's going to spend that kind of money for Zaniolo. So we'll see what happens. I think if Zaniolo comes, it's going to be in the later stages of the mercato when Roma is going to figure out that nobody's going to put that kind of money for him. And if Roma do want to monetize on him sooner rather than later, then Milan maybe has a good chance to negotiate something. The thing is that we're so early in the calcio mercato and we already have so many names linked, but we really need to realize that we have 2 months and a half of this shit to go.
Yeah.
The calcio mercato finishes in August, right?
Yes, late August.
So, guys, we have so
Maybe
much.
even early September, but I don't know because of the weird schedule this year, so it may be altered because of that.
Yeah. So there's still so much to go, guys. I'm sure that we're going to, and you know, one thing that we haven't seen yet is the sharks. You know, don't think there are not going to be any sharks, guys, coming for our players. I'm sure Teo Hernandez, he's going to get big offers, even though he renewed. Leao is going to be a nightmare, guys. The Leao situation is going to be a nightmare. Benacer, guys, watch out for Benacer. Watch out for Benacer. Watch out for, well, let's see, because Kalulu might be renewing. He's probably renewing. Tomori, I think he did agree to renew. One great thing about Tomori is that the report said that Tomori has no intention of leaving Milan. He is totally he's totally connected to the Milan project. He does not want to go anywhere, and they're going to retouch up his contract.
Yeah, I will say this. I think next summer will be more concerning for us than this summer because after the World Cup, um, this is like the showcase for all of the talented players. And I think Tomori he got his like first like start with the national team uh, for England.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if it was in like in the I don't know if it's like ever, but it's in a major like tournament, so the Nations League against Italy, and they kept a clean sheet. And even though he was playing with Harry Maguire, he still did pretty well.
No, yeah, yeah.
Um, so like if he can make the World Cup squad, And by the way, in England, even though like he's not playing in England, a lot of the like media do say because he won the Scudetto, they like value him a lot and they rate him highly. So I
Yeah.
can only imagine like after maybe next summer or maybe even this summer, like we might get some offers for him, but
Yeah.
other players like that.
No, absolutely. I'll even go further. I think the next time, already the next game that England wins with Tomori on the field, he's already going to be considered, the greatest thing since sliced bread. So,
And he's English too, so
yeah,
like I
so,
mean, just that fact, the English tax, like
right.
the English tax is so valuable.
But definitely we won't have to worry about that this year, for sure. I agree with you. Next year we might have to start to worry about that kind of stuff. Also, watch out for Mike Magnan. Don't think that nobody is watching Mike Magnan. Don't think that we are the only people that have noticed who Mike Magnan is. There are going to be a lot of sharks coming in from Mike Magnan, and there's been no talks about renewal when it comes to Mike or retouching. His
Guys,
contract.
maybe PSG wants to have a third goalkeeper, so they can watch. They're gonna come get him too. They're gonna start like the PSG goalkeepers are probably gonna like hire hitmen to like take each other out at this point. It's crazy.
Oh man, Chesney. I mean, Chesney's not going to be at Juve forever. I wonder if that operation is ever going to happen. Donnarumma coming back to Juventus, where I think he really always wanted to go. That snake, Donnarumma. I defended you, Donnarumma. I defended you
Roy, do you admit today that Magnan's a better goalkeeper than Donnarumma?
today.
Yeah.
I don't admit that today. I
What the
said that.
hell?
I said that the first day I saw Mania.
Oh, so you think he's better than Donnarumma?
Bro, I've been saying that since
Okay,
since
okay, good.
since, since the friendly game against Nice, when he saved the penalty. Remember he saved
Yeah.
since
Well, that
that
was
friend.
against Real Madrid.
Oh, against Real Madrid he saved the penalty, but it was against Nice. But I already figured out, man, this guy's a beast. No,
Yeah.
no, Magnan is. I have said this. This is opinion territory, so guys, whatever. Magnan is the best signing Milan has done in the past since Kaká. Since Kaká. Okay.
Nice.
But I do think that Donnarumma, when he becomes the age of Mike Magnan, he's going to not. He's going to be a real threat. Remember, Donnarumma is only 22, 23. Mike Magnan is 27, going to 28, I think, or 26, going to 27. Those are a lot of years of experience. So, once Donnarumma will get that age, he's going to be a very good goalkeeper. I think we should go for a young defender, Kim Min-jae. This dude is good with the ball at his feet. His dribbling is dope, and his forward crossing is very accurate. For that price, it's a good deal. Okay, so Megan here knows this player. We don't know him. We are not very familiar with him. I'm not going to do a highlight for him right now because we're going towards the end of the stream. But yeah, guys. I mean, I think if we get Kalulu Tomori, Kjaer is going to be back. I don't expect Kjaer to break his ACL again. If we can get another young defender, if we can land Bremer. But I agree with what you said, Antonio. The best option was to get Bremer right away. Right away. All right. Let's look at some more chats. I think player plus cash is our best option to get Zaniolo. Which player, Antonio? Which player would you sacrifice for Zaniolo?
Honestly, I would only sacrifice players.
But hold on, Antonio. But it has to be a player that you think
Yeah.
Roma would like.
So then I don't know. I mean, I don't. I was about to say I don't want to sacrifice players that are like, proven to be good on our team. So I don't think it's worth it.
Okay, so for you, no.
No.
It's a straight no. Very interesting. Okay. Um, who would I sacrifice? The only player that I could see is Pobega, but I don't know if I would sacrifice Pobega. Maybe give him Balotelli 5 million. Yeah. If Zaniolo only wants to go to Milan and Juve, Roma will have no choice but to sell him now to one of those clubs. That's unless they want to sell him for half the price next year. Yeah, and I think that we're going to really find out what happens with Zaniolo much deeper into the calciomercato. So unless Juve goes for him or we find a better alternative, I think we're probably going to get him. So Mr. Cole is very optimistic regarding Zaniolo. Nice. Good thing Lao flops in the international team doesn't get too much attention. True. I agree, Prometheus. Keep the sharks away. Any news on Leao, Antonio? Has anything come up regarding Leao?
No, besides the agent, like a few days ago, I haven't seen much. I don't know if I mean, I know that we're gonna try to renew him this summer, but
Yeah. As far as games, we know they have a friendly in Cologne. I don't know if there have been any other games scheduled.
it's already a busy schedule. But I did read somewhere that that would just be one of the friendly games we play. Maybe we play other like smaller Italian sides in like at Milanello, like we did last year, but
Yes.
I'm not sure.
I'm looking forward to those games. I'm looking forward to those games, and I think we're going to stream them. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell
That's how you get subscribers.
That's how you get subscribers. Don't tell anybody, but I think we're going to stream those games.
Remember when you had like 100,000 view? We had like 100,000 views on the stream that one time.
Right. The Real Madrid game, there was like, well, it got to 70,000. So yeah, close to 100,000. We're talking shit. That was funny. That was fun. Such a damn. If they didn't close the stream, we would have gained like.
The key is to
10,000.
make it. The key is to make it like to title it something like not too obvious, and then
Right. And then you have to be clever how you cover everything. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. All right, let's finish these comments. For Milan to practice with what? What's this? Oh, yeah. We don't know. I mean, aside the Cologne team, has anything happened to the youth team? Good question. I have not seen anything regarding.
they're
the youth
pretty
team.
poor. They did pretty poor in the league this season.
I would imagine that there's a lot going on with the youth team, right? Because of such a poor season.
I think they changed. Actually, the one thing that I did read is that they fired the coach, I believe, of the youth team. I think
Yeah,
they're
that
looking
was
at replacements.
that was a while back. Yeah. Soon Donnarumma is going to lose his place in the national team. You heard it here first. For who though, Prometheus? I don't see any other Italian goalkeepers that are better than him. And I'm not saying that he's the Messi of goalkeepers, but uh, but who? Prometheus, give me some names. Prometheus, I hope not. Right, I like us to go for Rafinha, Antonio. Okay, Roy, what? Why kind of owner comes into a new club and invests nothing? Is this not strange? The only hope I have is Maldini. If Maldini resigns, I believe Redbird. Guys, I don't believe that Redbird is not going to invest anything. You know, this is some people have this idea, are very skeptical, and it's you got to respect the opinions of people. I think Tick Size is, for example, very skeptical. He made it clear in the podcast yesterday. There are other people that are very skeptical, but I don't believe that. I think that if, like, your first season as the new owner, it is in your best interest. And again, when I say splash for cash, I'm not saying spend 80 million on Maguire. I'm saying spend the appropriate amount of money for the functional players that are going to improve the team in a functional way, right? Build the team for the next 10 years. You won the Scudetto, new owner, injection of money because of revenue. You're going to, you spent, well, you didn't spend, but you invested a billion and two, right? 1 billion and 200 million, right? Is that what it is? 1.2 billion, 1.2 billion, that can go up to 1.5 billion. How the hell are you going to put 1.5 billion into a team and not invest in the players? It makes no sense, Mohamed Kassim. It makes no sense. It'd be destined to fail if that's what he's doing. What Redbird is not going to do is going to spend 80 million on Zaniolo, right? Or 100 million on Darwin Núñez. That's what they're not going to do. But they will spend 35 for Ketelaere. They will try and spend 35 or maybe even 40 for Zaniolo. But that's it. They're not going to go any further than that. I think. Of course, guys, we're all here speculating. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. What do you think, Antonio?
I think Redbird may surprise us with like one signing. And I think, but
I think so
overall, they're
too.
going to be similar to Elliott. But I think that we can maybe see some improvements, like financially. So I agree.
What the fuck is going on here?
What is?
We're getting these stupid fucking. Stop jerking. Cheaper than Tinder. There you go. These spams are taking advantage of our good viewers, guys. If you're here, guys, we got 44 viewers right now. We need to have 44 likes. Guys, we cannot grow unless you click that like button. It helps with the algorithm. And guys, we even have super chats now. So if you want to donate to the channel, help us. We want to get merch. We want to, try to expand and do all those kind of things. You can do that too. Of course, only if you can. Nobody is putting pressure on you. But like that button, guys. If you're a Milanista, we're going to be here reporting on Milan. We're going to be here translating all the BS that comes out of Italy. All right, let's go towards the end, Antonio. Anything else?
No, not really. I hope that this week, though, as the week progresses, hopefully we see some more news.
Yeah.
For now, it's kind of dry.
Right. Listen, another thing I really want to talk about before we close is Maldini and Massara. One thing I heard today on Radio Rossonero, there's this lady that she was, I can't remember her name, but she was talking about the Maldini and Massara situation. So right now, according to her, Maldini is negotiating his salary and how many years he's going to be staying with the club. So their negotiation. Of course, guys, I know you guys don't want to believe anything that comes out of the news, whatever, but that's what was said today, and so that's where we are with that. Pretty optimistic about it. I think once we get those renewals done, I think the Mercato is going to start going in full swing. Oh, one last thing, guys, I forgot about. Hey, is there anything else you want to add? Well, as I find this, I want to talk about that Lille situation.
Well, I do want to say that I did also read, I think, something about the management, and I think that they're basically both agreed. It's just like, the final details.
Say again, one more time. Sorry.
They're both Maldini and Masada at least they're like agreed. It's just the final details that have to be sorted out. So it should be like this anytime this week. It should be made official.
Yes. I think this is going to be the week we're going to see that. Also, because these guys can't wait. They can't wait. They can't wait, guys. Inter right now we gotta get Bremer. If we want to get Bremer, we can't wait on this stuff. There was an article about Lille. Basically, Lille's situation is not good at all. So we're not going to be seeing Renato Sanchez this week, and the Botman situation neither. What is this here? All right, let's finish on the stadium. And let me read this. Let's opinionate on this, and then let's finish. One of the main missions of Redbird Capital after buying AC Milan is to construct a brand new stadium to take the club into a new era. As reported this morning by Tutto Sport, Jerry Cardinale, the founder and leading man of Redbird, seems to be willing to get straight into the new stadium project and is happy for the RossonARI to build one alone. Yes, thus abandoning the joint project with Inter. And Inter said the same thing, by the way.
Roy, we have a super sticker in the chat.
Oh, Christian Pasmino, thank you, my man. Grazie, Christian Pasmino. And I will give you Pippo Inzaghi for that. Christian Pasmino, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Let me highlight it. Hold on.
Thank you, Christian. You're muted, Roy.
Pippo Inzaghi, guys. The spirit of the goal. Christian Pasmino, much appreciated. Thank you. First time super chatting for Christian. Really appreciate it. All right. Let's keep on going. As reported this morning, No, let's keep on going. In particular, Cardinale seems drawn to the area of Sesto San Giovanni and the site of the old folk steelworks. The desire is to build a stadium with at least 70,000 seats. Jerry Cardinale is listening to Paolo Maldini. He is listening. Paolo Maldini said, we can't build a stadium of 40,000. We have to go at least up to 70,000. This is Milan. This is not Juve. No, I'm joking. This is not a mid. This is This is one of the biggest clubs in the world, and to give Milan a state-of-the-art new home. However, report that Milan are following the development of the elections in Sesto San Giovanni, and there will be a vote today. The citizens of the area must vote on whether they want to keep the mayor Roberto Di Stefano or elect Michele Foggietta in his place. The choice is very important from a Milan point of view because Di Stefano staying in charge would ensure the green light is still there for the plans to materialize. While Foggietta, the fucking Interista, has already made it clear that he does not consider the stadium a priority of the area of Sesto. So I hope people vote for Di Stefano. And there you have it.
We should just corrupt the election.
Yeah? We should corrupt the elections? How do you do that? What is it?
Vladimir Putin
Dominion. Dominion. We should get Putin to corrupt that election for us. Hopefully there's more Milanisti than Interisti there. I think it's going to go down to that, probably. I don't see how the stadium would be not beneficial. I mean, it brings business, it brings traffic. I don't know. But anyway, that's the situation with the stadium. Cardinale wants to go alone. 70,000. State-of-the-art stadium. Sesto San Giovanni. I guess we will find out maybe by tomorrow what those elections brought. All right, Antonio, anything else?
I think that's it, Roy.
I think we're done, guys. Guys, once again, thank you, Christian Pesmino, for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. Guys, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Before you leave, click that like button. Guys, this channel can only grow if you guys click that like button. And we will have another Milan news tomorrow morning. Maybe we'll get everybody else and do a little bit longer. But this is Milan today, guys. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Antonio, thank you very much for being here, sharing your wisdom. So, Antonio, what are you doing for the summer?
Hopefully gonna find a job soon and going on vacation at times and preparing for next year. But just relaxing. Shouldn't be too bad.
Nice. Well-deserved time of relaxation. All right, having said that, guys, everybody in chat, Forza Milan, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Antonio, see you next time. Alla prossima. Ciao.
Ciao a tutti.